You know that feeling when you spend a whole weekend planting up your pots, buying new flowers, fresh compost, getting your hands dirty, and then winter comes and kills every single one of them? And then spring arrives and you're standing there staring at a bunch of dead stems thinking, great, I get to do this whole thing again. Yeah, I've been there more times than I'd like to admit. But here's what changed everything for me. I stopped planting annuals in my pots and switched to perennials. Specific ones. Tough ones. The kind that don't care if you forget to water them for 2 weeks or if temperatures drop overnight without warning. And today, I'm giving you 9 of them. Plants you put in a pot once, and they just come back. Every single year. On their own. No replanting. No starting over. No wasted money. One of them actually grows better when you ignore it. We'll get to that. Let's go. Before we get into the actual plants, I want to clear something up because I hear this all the time. People say perennials don't really work in pots, that they need to be in the ground to survive winter, that roots in containers freeze too fast and the plant just dies anyway. And honestly, that's true for a lot of perennials. Most of them weren't designed with a pot in mind, but the 9 plants on this list are different. These are varieties that have been tested by gardeners, by harsh winters, by complete neglect, and they keep coming back anyway. They've got root systems that handle the cold. They go dormant when they need to, and come spring, they push back up like nothing happened. So here's how I picked them. 3 rules. First, they had to survive winter in a container, not just in the ground. Second, they had to be genuinely low maintenance. Not low maintenance if you fertilize every 2 weeks and check the pH. Actually low maintenance. Third, they had to look good. Because what's the point otherwise? I'm going to take you through all 9, and I'm loosely going from easiest to most rewarding. So if you're a complete beginner, the first few are basically foolproof. And if you've been gardening a while and want something with a bit more personality, stay till the end because the last couple are genuinely worth it. All right, plant number 9. Plant 9, hardy geranium, cranesbill. Kicking things off with one that most people completely overlook, and I genuinely don't understand why. Hardy geranium. Not the bright red balcony kind you see everywhere in summer. That's actually a pelargonium, totally different plant. This one is a true perennial. It dies back in winter, goes completely quiet, and then comes roaring back in spring without you doing a single thing. In a pot, it's brilliant. Mounding, tidy, covers itself in small, delicate flowers. Purple, pink, white depending on the variety. And it doesn't need much. A decent-sized pot, reasonable drainage, and that's basically your entire to-do list. What I love most about it is how it looks after itself. It doesn't flop, doesn't take over, just sits there being pretty all season long. Genuinely underrated. Great starting point for any lazy container garden. Plant 8, catmint, nepeta. If hardy geranium is underrated, catmint is somehow even more overlooked, which is crazy because this plant is basically indestructible. Catmint sends up long, soft spikes of lavender blue flowers from late spring. Looks incredible. Smells amazing. Bees absolutely lose their minds over it. And when the first flush of flowers fades, you just cut it back by half. Within a few weeks, it blooms all over again. Some years it goes 3 rounds. In a pot, it stays more compact than in the ground, which is actually a good thing. Neat, manageable, and still incredibly productive. Here's the part people don't expect. It's drought tolerant once established. Forget to water it for a week in a heat wave? It barely notices. That's the kind of plant you want in a container. Cut it back after flowering. That's it. That's the whole job. Plant 7, Heuchera, coral bells. Now we're getting into the ones that make your pots look expensive without costing much effort at all. Heuchera is grown primarily for its foliage. And what foliage it is. Deep burgundy, burnt caramel, lime green. Some varieties are almost metallic looking. You put one of these in a pot, and suddenly the whole space looks like someone with actual taste designed it. It's evergreen in milder winters, semi-evergreen in colder ones. Either way, it comes back reliably. The roots handle container life really well, and the plant stays in a tidy clump. No spreading, no surprises. It is like a bit of shelter from brutal afternoon sun. Give it morning light, protect it from the harshest rays, and it'll reward you with color from spring right through to winter. Small, architectural, genuinely beautiful. Heuchera earns its spot in any pot. Plant 6, lavender. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Everyone knows lavender. This isn't exactly a secret. But here's why it's on this list. Most people kill it. Not through neglect. Through too much care. They water it constantly. Plant it in rich compost. Baby it. And lavender absolutely hates all of that. In a pot, lavender actually does better than in the ground in many climates because you control the drainage. And drainage is everything with this plant. Gritty, free-draining compost. A terracotta pot if you can. Water it occasionally, not obsessively. Do that, and lavender will come back every year, get slightly bigger each season, and fill the air around it with that smell that makes everyone stop and breathe a little deeper. One trim after flowering. Keep the shape. Don't cut into old wood. Tough, beautiful, fragrant. Lavender belongs in your container lineup. Plant 5, ornamental grasses. This is where things get interesting. Because ornamental grasses in pots are something most gardeners haven't even considered, and they are absolutely stunning. Varieties like Echinacea, blue fescue, or carex work beautifully in containers. They bring movement. Wind hits them, and the whole pot comes alive in a way flowers just can't match. There's something almost meditative about watching grasses sway. They're also ridiculously tough. Most are fully hardy, handle cold winters in pots without any fuss, and require almost zero maintenance beyond an annual cutback in late winter before new growth appears. In a mixed planting, they add incredible texture. On their own, they make a bold architectural statement. If you want your containers to look different from every other garden on the street, grasses are your answer. Underused, underappreciated, and honestly one of the most rewarding plants on this entire list. Plant 4, Black-Eyed Susan Rudbeckia. Halfway through, and this is where things really start to deliver. Black-Eyed Susan is pure late summer joy. Golden yellow petals, dark chocolate center, and it blooms when most other perennials have already given up for the year. We're talking July, August, September, sometimes right into October. That's exactly when your containers need the most help. In a pot, it's manageable and upright. Doesn't flop everywhere like it can in borders. Give it a reasonably sized container, full sun, and it will perform every single year without fail. It also attracts pollinators like crazy. If you care about bees and butterflies, and you should, Rudbeckia is one of the best things you can plant. Leave the seed heads through winter. Birds feed on them. And honestly, they look beautiful dusted in frost. Plant it once. It rewards you for years. That's exactly the deal we're here for. Plant 3, Echinacea coneflower. Top 3 now. And Echinacea absolutely deserves its place here. These are proper showstoppers. Big, bold flowers with that distinctive raised cone center. They come in incredible range. Classic purple, deep red, soft pink, burnt orange, even white. Whatever your pot aesthetic, there's an Echinacea that fits it. And they're tough in a way that genuinely surprises people. Deep taproots that handle drought. Resilience to heat. Winter hardiness that most gardeners underestimate. In a large enough pot, and size does matter here, give them room. They'll come back year after year getting better each time. Leave the seed heads standing through winter. They look architectural and dramatic even when everything else has died back. And again, birds. Goldfinches in particular go absolutely wild for them. Year 1 they establish. Year 2 they perform. Year 3 they're the star of your entire garden. Trust the process. Plant 2, Salvia. If you told me 5 years ago that Salvia would be my most reached for container plant, I probably wouldn't have believed you. But here we are. The perennial varieties, Salvia nemorosa, Caradonna, Maynite, are extraordinary. Deep violet flower spikes that shoot up in early summer and just keep going. Deadhead them or cut back after the first flush and they rebloom. Sometimes twice more in the same season. In a pot they're compact, upright, and incredibly well behaved. No flopping, no spreading, no drama. They're also drought tolerant, unfussy about soil, attractive to every pollinator in a 5-mile radius, and reliably hardy through cold winters in containers. The color is genuinely hard to describe unless you've seen it in person. That deep blue violet in full sun looks almost unreal, almost electric. If you only add one new plant to your pots this year, honestly, make it a perennial salvia. You won't regret it. Plant 1, Sedum, stone crop. Number 1, and I don't think it's even close. Sedum is the laziest, toughest, most rewarding perennial you can grow in a container. Full stop. It stores water in its thick, fleshy leaves, which means it laughs at drought. Heat waves don't faze it. Poor soil? Fine. Forget to water it for 3 weeks in August? It genuinely does not care. This is the plant I mentioned at the start that actually thrives on a bit of neglect. Late summer, it produces these flat-topped flower clusters, usually deep pink or copper red, that slowly dry on the plant and look stunning right through winter. We're talking 4 seasons of genuine interest from a single plant that asks almost nothing from you. In a container, it's perfect. Compact, self-contained, hardy enough to handle even serious winter cold in a pot. Sedum is the answer to almost every gardening problem. Not enough time? Sedum. Keep killing things? Sedum. Want something beautiful with 0 effort? You already know the answer. So there you have it. 9 plants. 1 trip to the garden center. 0 replanting next year. Remember that feeling at the start? Standing over a pot full of dead stems, wondering why you bother? That's done now. You've got the list. Pick 3. Just 3. Get them in pots this season and watch what happens come spring. And drop your hardiness zone in the comments below. I'll personally tell you which ones will survive your winters. I read every single one. If this helped you, subscribe. There's a lot more of this coming. Now go get your hands dirty. You've got no excuses left.